And so after law school, I had a crazy situation that happened in my second year of law school. I got in an accident going from my mom's house here in Sarasota down to Miami. And I was on the interstate, and I don't know how it happened.
This is on your bike.
No,
This is a car.
This is a car.
Okay.
This is a car I was driving. This was like in 2017.
So this is 2017, the car accident, but all the stuff that you mentioned in college, this is obviously after high school, what, 4 or 5 years removed? Like all that stuff
Yeah.
that you mentioned, where it was like you met the right people, you put yourself in the right position.
Yeah.
And so by that time, by this 2017, you already had your bachelor's.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're going to Miami.
Yes, sir.
To get because you got into law school.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was my second year, and I was driving back after Labor Day, and I don't know how it happened. Like there was no other car involved. They said that I could have hydroplaned, but I don't remember it raining. But eventually, I slammed into like a median.
Yeah.
And I was with no recollection to my own that they brought an ambulance and they tried to airlift me out of there. But I guess I was being too combative, and they took like 4 or 5 people to try and get me in the ambulance, and I wouldn't let them do it.
You don't remember this?
No memory. And then so they took me to the ambulance to the hospital, and I woke up, and I guess they had to medically induce me because my brain was swelling.
Into a coma?
Into a coma. So they medically induced me into a coma. So I wake up, and they pulled me out of my apartment. They unenrolled me in school because the amount of brain trauma that I suffered, they thought that I was going to be severely cognitively impaired, and they thought that I could potentially be blind. Insane. And like it was a horrible situation. And luckily I had such a good group of friends, and the whole school, I mean, because I'm someone that I like to get to know everybody.
Yeah.
And I'm saying that the librarians, the janitors, everybody.
You're intentional.
Absolutely. And so I had like a big community of people that they got these bracelets that said like Raf Strong on it, and they had raised a lot of money for myself.
Mm-hmm.
And they had friends that bought like an Airbnb to put my family in there because they live in Sarasota, and it was around the clock, seeing how it's going to be. So in the hospital, I got out, and I come to, and my first words like, I need to go to school. Like I need to get to class.
Hustler.
You know what I'm saying? 100%. And they're like, I don't think, because they unenrolled me. So
how long were you in the coma for?
About 2 weeks.
Where you're basically you're sleeping just so you're not so a coma is basically they put you in there just so you don't exert yourself too much.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Just so your brain has time to, lose the swelling and go back to like a normal state.
Yep.
And in that time, they thought potentially you could die.
Absolutely. I mean, they had to drill holes in my skull. Like if when I get my hair cut short, you'll see like I have 2 holes right here, and then like I have like a big, it looks like almost like a Nike check where my skull was fractured in the back.
And you don't remember at all what happened.
Man, not only do I not remember, but what I remember didn't happen. Like what I remember getting in an accident. I remember driving to the hospital. Clearly. I remember this so clearly. I remember going to the hospital, going to the front counter where you check in and tell them telling them I was involved in a serious car accident and I need help right now. And then I remember getting put on a table and getting sent back. And I was telling this to my sister, and she's like, that didn't happen. I was like,
way.
And she's like, I'm like, what do you mean? I was like, she's like, where's your car? I'm like, it's parked in the parking lot. And she's like, and then she looked at my mom, like, should I tell him? And she shows me a picture of my car was demolished. The front end was smashed. The windshield was smashed out. The airbag got deployed, and it was soaked in blood.
My gosh.
And it was like, I'm looking at this, it's like, how is this possible? So I don't have very good experiences with cars or motor vehicles. But so
the fact that you're still driving is a miracle in 100%, itself.
100%. And then
but I didn't even know all this. I thought you were talking about the motorcycle accident. So you've survived 2 major life potentially ending.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Right. And
I have so many questions.
So I had to get out, and then So they unenrolled me, and I had a, what do you call it? I had like a breathing tube in. So when I pulled it out, I could barely talk. I had a very raspy voice, and I couldn't smell or taste anything. And like, I had to essentially tell the teachers that I want to go back to school.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, you got enrolled in the, and I was like, I want to have an opportunity to demonstrate the fact that I can still go to school.
Right.
So they sent the dean of students to come to my Airbnb that I was staying at to essentially tell me, you're not going to be a student anymore.
Yeah.
And then I was able to convince her and explain to her that I'm fully cognitive, that I have the ability to retain the information that I've learned, and I want to go back and continue. So she went back. She's like, well, I have to talk to the rest of the deans of the school. And after that, she conversed with them. She said that ultimately that I'm good to go. And then while I was recovering, I had a friend come, and she was keeping me up to speed because like law school is extremely intense.
I can imagine.
It's extremely intense. So if you're not allowed to miss X amount of days,
Yeah.
or else they'll, just because of the ABA, the American Bar Association rules, you can't miss certain amount of credit hours. You know what I'm saying? During the days during the class.
Yeah.
And then so they had to make an exemption so I can continue. And then I was able to continue. I was able to graduate my class.